And now, for your listening and maybe even viewing pleasure, straight out of Milwaukee, the least talked about podcast in Wisconsin, Hypocritical, with your guides, Alexa MKE, and Shock the MoKE, MOKE, where we praise or vent on all things that really, in the end,
just don't matter.
Yes. How you doing, Alexa?
I'm good. How you doing, Dave?
Good. So, nice day out. It's still been a little wet and thick out there. So what have we been hiding from the heat and doing, and from COVID, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I've been doing my normal stuff, going to the grocery store early, kind of hanging out at home. What have you been up to lately?
Oh, well, I finally got some of my itches scratched from the COVID. The 7 Mile Fair is open. The state sales have started to open up a little bit. So, been trying to do social distancing when you're in there. They do limit how many people are going in the house at any one time.
How's that going? I mean, I guess I don't understand how that happens when you're like, 7 Mile Fair gets busy.
And we didn't go. Well, Chrissy is still, very cautious about those things, so she didn't feel comfortable. We ate at George Webb's the other day at the counter. So she's still, very regressed in wanting to keep things that way. We didn't go inside, and outside there was not enough people that had to worry. You could just, wait, walk around. Same thing. We were at a Brookfield farmers market yesterday. You certainly weren't bumping into anybody. Got to get one of my Mr. Dye's Purple Monster sweet potato pies from them.
Yeah,
so been watching that guy for years. I think I caught him first at like one of those sticky fingers or whatever that they had, and events, and had his little pie piece, and it's a purple pie, sweet potato pie. So been kind of following for a couple of years. It was nice to see him there.
That's cool. That's nice. Yeah, it's good to hear.
It was funny though. The state sales yesterday, we went to 2 of them. One of them we went into. As I'm walking up the driveway, the lady, well, it's just so rude. She's yelling it through the door or whatever, and I'm like, oh, didn't get a price you liked or whatever, and she's walking away, just muttering to herself, blah 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 blah. She's walking away, and I walk in and I have my mask, and the lady goes, oh, well, thank you very much for practicing safe COVID, and wearing a mask, because we are saying everybody's got to wear a mask. And then I thought, oh, that's why that lady was running away.
We had a Karen in the midst. You caught a local Karen in the wild.
I really should have ran up and made sure she had a Trump sticker on her, bumper sticker, because there's a Trump sticker on there. When someone says, how rude, when they want to walk into your place you're doing business the way without a mask when you're asking them to, and she gets to say, how rude, when you don't do it. So, again, you can't force me to wear them at my house because it's my house, but now you want to force me to wear them at your house? Well, that's against my rights too. No, you're the rude person.
Right? Okay, so that one of the internet memes of that, it's been going around. It's like somebody took a picture of, I don't know if it was a restaurant or a business, but it's like, you have, every right to not wear a mask, but if you're not going to wear a mask in our establishment, before you come in, you have to take all your clothes off.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but
all check you for temperature, and
I don't.
And we don't do it orally.
Yeah, people are crazy. Well, so let's talk about Hamilton. I really wanted to go see Hamilton. When I saw it come up on my subscription, I was not able to afford the tickets, so we didn't even buy tickets for Hamilton because it was going to be here in Milwaukee, and it was going to be in Madison at the Overture. But for all of us fans of live theater, they did record it several years ago from a couple different angles in New York City, the live cast with Lin-Manuel Miranda. And so it is coming to Disney Plus on July 3rd. So I'm excited!
Oh, that's nice. Again, see something you can't normally see, but, that way.
Well, they were going to release it eventually. I just think it's really cool that they're releasing it now when people really can't go see live theater. Most live theater is canceled. So that's pretty cool.
Well, that's good. So, hey, anyway, Who had Godzilla Dust Storm in June? Did you check your chart?
My bingo chart did not have that on it, unfortunately. So no. How about yours? Did yours have it on there?
Oh, no, no, no. And I forget that. It's about every 50 years it happens. I should have figured that one was going to be in the.
Why not? I mean, we have a once in 100-year pandemic. We've got, crazy sauce in the White House. And now we have a dust storm. And what else have we had? Who knows? It's like
Murder Hornets.
Murder Hornets, of course. Murder Hornets.
What happened to all the kids dying from vaping? That ended up that could quit
They
too.
figured that one out. That was illegal THC cartridges. So
Right.
once they figured that one out and arrested people and took it off the market, that was done. So anyway, so I've been trying to be a little bit more wholesome than all of that. I did some kayaking last weekend.
Yeah, it's your muscles again, still sore?
Oh yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah, so we did some kayaking. So we had to do a portage because we went up the Oconomowoc River. There's like a little footbridge where you have to do a portage and come down, and then you kayak up to like this little lake. And we did all of that, and we had lunch on the lake, and it was really cool because it was nice and calm and everything. But so we're doing this portage, and there is mud there, and so I'm getting out of my kayak, and I slip on the mud, and I wind up in the drink. So I'm soaked. It's like, whatever. I'm wearing clothes
Swamp
for it
thing.
and everything. But then I'm like this, and I look up, and there's like this big snake sitting there. Now, I'm not afraid of snakes, so I'm like, okay, the snake's probably more afraid of me than I am of him, and he runs away. And I'm glad Roger didn't wind up in the drink because he hates snakes. So just so beware when you're kayaking, there are wild animals. The other cool thing we did see was we saw a couple of sandhill cranes.
Did you identify the snake at all? Do you have any idea what it was?
It was Eastern. No. It was black. It was Eastern something or other. It's a non-venomous snake. They're more scared of you than you are of them.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean, again, on the farm, I picked up garter snakes and some diamondback. I don't think it's a diamondback, but it's
No,
like
you didn't pick up a
diamondback.
diamondback.
Not a diamondback, but there are some bigger ones that you can run across every once in a while, and but those garter snakes, yeah, and grass snakes.
Yeah.
When you'd find those as a kid, it was always fun.
Yeah, we used to grab grass snakes as a kid. The little guys, they're really cute. No, but then we saw a couple of sandhill cranes with a little baby sandhill crane, and they were fording the river.
Oh,
it was super cute.
Those are almost like prehistoric when you run across them, and they just, if they get up on you, those wingspan just. Ooh.
Oh, they're huge. They're big animals, but they're making a comeback.
A pterodactyl that you could probably get,
They're making a comeback, which is really cool. So we do have the sandhills, and then so have you been to any state parks lately at all?
No, I haven't done the park thing but because I know they've been opening it and they're still worried about people, the trash, the limitations, and they're still full there.
My God, they're packed. So yesterday we took a drive, and I wanted to take a walk around Harrington Beach. They have the quarry lake there, and you can take a walk around it, and it's like, we went in the parking lot, we couldn't find parking, and I'm like, well, if we can't find parking, there's no way I'm walking around. Right. So then we decided, okay, well, we'll go across this, go across to the, to the west, and we decided to try Moffy Lake, because we hadn't been on any of the trails at Moffy Lake. They were turning cars away. They were full.
Jeez.
So if you're trying to go to a state park, especially next weekend, I would strongly recommend that you maybe have a plan B, because it's a lot of stuff going on.
Well, so does that mean that you're going to the gym now instead of working out?
Oh yeah, I'm going to the gym. So funny you mentioned that. So about 3 weeks ago, I wanted to freeze my gym membership, so because I'm allowed to freeze it, because I was with Experience Fitness. So they're like, okay, you can freeze your gym membership for 6 months. So I go through their whole process and email them, give them all of my information, my contract number, all this other stuff, and say I'd like to, freeze my membership. Please confirm. No confirmation. So then another few days later, I'm like, I need a confirmation for this. And they said, well, how many months do you want to freeze it for? Well, it's in the original email, 6 months. So then I got no confirmation. So then I'm like pissed.
Wow.
I'm like pissed off. So I'm like, okay, I want to cancel my membership. So I go through the thing again, and I email them according to their rules. I get no email back, no confirmation. And this is a different email now because now you have to go through their ABC Financial or whatever.
Their retention department now. Yeah.
Pretty much, that's what it was. So then I got no email back. And this was on the 19th. So then Friday night, I'm finally fed up. I'm like, okay, I want to cancel this membership. So then I call the customer care number. Then the guy's like, oh, well, I can't find the email. Here, I'm going to send you this link. You can do it online. So I go and try to do it online, and I put in because you have to register now to do this online, because this is a completely different thing from whatever. I can't get it registered to save my life. So I call him back, and I get another guy. And, both of these gentlemen were from either India or Pakistan, based on their accent. So clearly they don't have their customer care in the States. It's, farmed out to a third party in another country. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. As long as you can help me, I'm don't care. And I can understand them. I'm not one of those people. I can't understand what they're saying.
Right.
I can understand them perfectly. So the first guy really, I think, didn't want to help me, because then the second guy was able to get my thing canceled, but it literally took me 3 weeks to cancel it. So anybody who's with Experience Fitness, call the customer care number for that ABC Financial. Make sure you have all of your information. Be very persistent. You are going to get another charge to cancel because they want 30-day notice. So do that, and you'll be able to get it canceled. But I finally did, and because, I'm not going back to the gym in a while. So there we go. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, that just seems like a little crowd. Well, that's just still the sports stuff, with the sports all coming back now. We got baseball, we got basketball, we got the racing, everybody's, all the sports are coming back, and I don't know. It's just, they're even doing the Milkmen now. Road America's open.
Yeah, I saw that.
So
there's some crazy. I don't know. Hopefully this doesn't make anything worse. But I got a fun thing I got to do. Do you mind?
No, go right ahead.
Wait. There he is. I've got Milverine. So this is the Milverine bobblehead. The Bobblehead Hall of Fame is located in Milwaukee. Now, if anybody knows about Milverine is John Hammond. He walks around Milwaukee basically without a shirt. And the reason he's called Milverine is because he's this buff guy, and he kind of looks like Wolverine, and he's in Milwaukee, so they call him Milverine. So this is our unboxing. So here it is, and we're gonna take him out of here and take his little. There he is. I have my very own.
So does that now? We're gonna put one of him next to the Fonz or the Crusher? Is that his next step? Is having a bronze statue of Milverine somewhere on the walk?
They really should. So John is a cool guy. He's a vet. He all of the profits from this are donated to I believe the Humane Society. It's in some animal centered charity, but he's a cool guy. There are only 2020 of these, so only 2020 Milverines. So get yours if you haven't already. I pre-ordered mine way back, I think before COVID started, but I love Milwaukee. This is my little piece of Milwaukee,
sure.
That's my goofiness.
That's fun. My goofiness. Well, I know if Charlie Barron's put one out, there'd probably be people buying that one up too.
Yeah. So it's like there are other ones. There's a lot of they obviously do the Brewers and the Packers and other notables. Right. I mean, they had a Fauci one.
Yeah, Fauci. I want the Fauci one. I still got to look see if I can pick one of those up.
I think the Fauci one's on pre-order. I think you can probably still get it. So it's like but I just thought that was fun as all get out. So yeah. So I don't know. Crazy sauce.
All right, well, let's move on. We got some internet adventures here to talk about. You got I know I'm with you on the TikTok, so we'll go to the first one. We had Brew City Safari steps out of Reddit. What's that?
Okay, so there's a bunch of moderators for the Milwaukee subreddit. Brew City Safari had been one of the more active moderators, and I know some people loved him and some people hated him. I honestly thought he was one of the most fair moderators. He did a really good job. He was basically a janitor. He cleaned the place up. If there was trolls, they took care of them. If there were people who were doing things against the rules because you're not supposed to dox people, which is basically telling people, who somebody is and where they live. There's no brigading, which is when a bunch of people jump on people and try to,
That's a hard thing to do because
stuff.
people really want to push that boundary, thinking that they should be able to. Well, that's really not what you mean, and why are you really coming down on me? Because you're not doing what it says. You're violating a rule.
Exactly. And they had very fine lines, and it's like, especially with with COVID going on, with the political landscape, with Black Lives Matter, there was a lot of things going on. But he's expecting. I don't know if he's expecting or just had his third child, but congratulations to him. I wish him the best. He was an amazing moderator, and hopefully, the Milwaukee subreddit will remain civil, because it has been a very civil subreddit, because some of the things in the internet are not necessarily civil, so that's cool. Yeah. So yeah, TikTok. Let's talk about TikTok. Do you have TikTok?
My kids come and well, yeah, I know all about it and everything like that. But of course, the first time that I hear about it is also the first time I'm hearing about how the military won't allow it on any of their phones anymore because of the tracking capabilities of it. So my daughters were over the other day and they were talking about, hey, how come you're not on TikTok, Dad? You should do something on TikTok. And I'm like, yeah, just like I should have done something on Twitter, which I'm not doing. And I said, what I'm not doing. And I said, no. I said, we don't need an Instagram and whatever. Here's just another one. I said, plus, it's like Zoom. You can get hacked on that really easy.
Well, and so the thing with TikTok.
I'm paranoid that I don't have an Alexa. I don't have, you know what I mean? I'm not doing that.
You have an Alexa? I need Alexa.
This Alexa, MKE. That's it.
Yeah. No, TikTok is actually really bad. For people who aren't familiar with TikTok, it's a video platform. However, it was created by the Chinese, and it is basically a Chinese data gathering.
China.
Yes, China. It's a data gathering app. So, you might be posting things on it, but it doesn't only go into things that you necessarily want it to. There are underlying code to this app that it collects all the data. And one guy explained it like, basically you have, maybe Facebook or Google will collect a cup of water. This collects Lake Michigan. So, and they send it all to China. And, there's reasons for it. And there's reasons why the military won't allow it. And there's reasons why, people are starting to say, do not use this app. And so, for people who, think it's a fun thing, there's other platforms. Please move away from TikTok. It's just, yeah, it's the latest toy. But, it's going to be like MySpace, 5 years from now. Hopefully it'll be gone.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So,
all right, so let's talk about some critical things, because still there's nothing hip going on about COVID yet.
Oh my God, this is horrible. Now I saw what you put down here, and I was
6%, 2 days running, and we're setting up to phase 4. Hey, we increased. Let's go to phase 4. What? Wait a minute.
Yeah, 520 on Friday, 539 on Saturday. Those are brand new cases in the U.S. in Wisconsin. Not in the U.S., in Wisconsin alone. And so that's, like you said, almost a 6% increase 2 days in a row.
Texas is almost full. They're at 90%. I know Arizona was almost at full bed capacity. Let's go have a rally.
Yeah, but we should slow down the testing, because if we have less testing, there'll be less COVID.
Yeah. And he doubled down on it. Everybody's going, well, he really didn't mean that. And he goes, and he just more or less came back out and said, no, I didn't mean that. I'm slow the testing down. And right away, that's why I have this little, thing. It's like, hey, and in related news, there's no more cancer. We quit testing for it. Cancer's gone.
Well, and did you see the video?
In fact, people have quit dying because we've quit testing for dying. Nobody's dead anymore.
That's right. We've stopped signing those death certificates, so now nobody's dead.
They're not dead. Nope,
they're not dead.
Not dead.
Nope. Did you see the video? And I don't know. I know I don't have this in the show notes. Did you see the video? I just saw it this morning of the workers at the Tulsa rally taking the distancing stickers off of the seating. Yeah, see, that's right. So I want to talk a little bit. We talked about COVIDiots. I want to talk about mask holes. So you had a perfect mask hole story at the beginning, because Karen was a mask hole and didn't want to wear her mask.
Right.
So
rude.
Yeah, so I want to go over this real quick for everybody. All right, so we are well over 125,000 cases in the U.S. of, these are deaths of COVID-19. The whole of 2018, which was the one of the worst flu seasons in recent history, the whole of 2018, we had 80,000 deaths. That's for a 12-month period. 80,000 deaths of influenza. We have now had over 125,000 deaths in what? March, April, May, June. 4 months, 125,000 deaths. Now do the math.
Well,
they are predicting.
We're double what it was the last time they actually had a press meeting on the COVID. They were at 70,000. Now we're at nearing 140 to 150. When it first started, we were all aghast because what was the number that we were going to hit? 200,000. 200,000 people, and we're aghast at that. Okay, do everything we can to shut down. Now it's kind of like, 200,000. Hey, we're going to hit that number. Where they said, oh well, what do you know? Well, hit that number.
So now we're talking about numbers. So do the math. They are predicting 750 to 800,000 deaths, not cases, deaths by this time next year. But what is the number one thing you can do to protect others?
Put a mask on.
And so some of the countries that have required masks.
Not go to concerts, not go to bars, not go to anywhere where you're crowded,
Yeah. So the one thing you can do is wear a mask. And so I'm hearing people say, oh, well, if I wear a mask, my oxygen level is going to be like down, and I'm going to be like, my health is going to be impacted. All right, let's talk about that with the science. So a bunch of doctors and nurses are now putting up videos showing a pulse ox, which you put on your finger and measures your oxygen level. And so they're showing the oxygen level as they're putting on different masks or different layers of masks. Normal oxygen should be between 95 and 100%. As they're putting on different masks or layering in masks, their oxygen is in that normal range with these masks on. I work at a warehouse job where I have to wear a mask. Before I walk in the building, I have to have my mask on. And my masks have N95 filters in them. I wear that from before 6 o'clock in the morning till after 2 o'clock in the afternoon, with the exception of my 2 breaks and my lunch, where I'm more than 6 feet from other people and I can take my mask off and eat or drink. And I have no problem. I can breathe. I'm not comfortable all the time, but I can breathe. So if you're sitting there going, oh, I'm not comfortable, I can't breathe. Unless you have COPD, in which case you probably shouldn't be out in public.
Be outside and all that.
Yeah, yes. Then, or some other, health problem. So I'm irritated with that. I mean, it's just irritating. And then when you kind of look at the long-term cost of COVID, so I'm kind of giving everybody a little lecture here, and sorry, I'm lecturing. So the long-term cost of COVID, let's say you don't get hospitalized. The long-term costs have now been shown to be, you can have kidney damage, you can have lung damage, you can have heart damage, you can have other damages that you're not aware of, including stroke.
These people were still sick after a month. They said they weren't right after a month yet, some of these people.
And some of these people are athletes. These are people who are healthy individuals in, maybe their 30s and 40s. We're not talking the obese, over 60 crowd. We are talking healthy people who are still having problems, and they were never hospitalized. They were never on a ventilator. The problem with this is it attacks your endothelial lining, which is basically throughout your entire body, including your blood vessels. So this is not a respiratory disease, people. This is a different animal.
It's one of the major complications on people. When people have complications already, it hits them much harder, correct? But that's just because it's an easy target. Your lungs are an easy target around here.
That's pretty much what it is, because it starts there. So that's my kind of rant lecture. But it is important and it is critical, and everybody, it's not going away.
Today. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
What do we got?
And again, as we move on, we're still working with trying to understand more, and all of us grasping everything that's out there in the Black Lives Matter world, and again, every day. Again, I got to open my eyes to more things and going like, oh my gosh, you're right, and why were you pulling down a Lincoln statue? I'm like, I had to understand why that was happening. Well, yeah, they've got a slave paying homage to him on his knees below him, and the Roosevelt one has Indians again subservient underneath, and I'm just thinking to myself, oh my gosh, all my life I just look at that like, yeah, look at that proud man above the two, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
that's not equal. That's not being equal. You fought for equality of these people, and then you go and show that they're not, and we see that, and I just walk around with that all the time, like the blackface thing, and the confusion when that hits, because all my life I watched shows that were critically acclaimed, or even comedians that were respected to do this, have blackface on, as we keep seeing with the Fallons and Saturday Night Live, and and things like that. So why did I think it was a bad thing? I didn't understand it was a bad thing. No one, people, critically acclaimed shows had it, which brings you to 30 Rock. Tina Fey actually is calling up and asking for episodes to be taken out that they did blackface on. So, and that was a show that won many Emmys, and their writing and and all that. But I'm back watching the 30 Rock episodes, and it's amazing, when you look at things like that. What could be made today? Well, how would they retake that? I mean, Simpsons are they're taking all. Anybody who's white doing a non-white character is now, they're not doing it anymore. I mean,
and I don't have so much problems with, a white doing a non-white character, depending upon, what the context is. But, we have to look at history, and we can't completely be a cancel culture. We can't erase history. That doesn't help us at all.
No.
So we have to have the discussions around these things. We need to bring them to light. But at the end of the day, this is our history. And it doesn't make it right, but it definitely
They belong in a room. They belong in a room, in a warehouse, whatever. You can't, still art at the end of the day. It still is history. It is still, it's a discussion board, like anything else.
Is.
I mean, Splash Mountain, they're saying they're going to change Disney Splat, reimagine it totally. Splash Mountain, I didn't understand the cohesion between Splash Mountain and Zippity Doodah and Song of the South, which Disney has buried for 20 years now or whatever.
Yeah, and they've been burying that one for a while.
Again, a Splash Mountain, what? I mean, I'm like, oh my gosh, really? All these years, and it's just another twist in the night for, and for people. That song Dixie, and this is where we're talking about the Dixie Chicks now, and Lady Antebellum dropping there into Lady A, and Dixie Chicks going to just the Chicks now, which, here I am again. I can't call them chicks either. Chicks is a derogatory term. That's a sexist or bad term.
It can be, yeah, and that's a fair point.
Yeah, and I'm like, so now it's even worse for me, again, call them chicks. That's a word I shouldn't be using for women. It's a derogatory. But, the song Dixie, I didn't even understand where that had actually come up from. I mean, I thought it was an old song of the South for rebels, but it's more than that, And
it is, yeah.
And they were making, it's a minstrel song, a blackface minstrel song, and you had Southern, people, kids who had to play that song, in their band and on
we learned that in school. I mean, it was one of the songs that were in the songbook, in the 60s and 70s.
And here I am worried about my Indians and everything like that changing from where I'm my Berlin Indians, and they got people like even the Rebels out there, a thing called the Rebels, a team, you don't think, oh yeah, it's old Johnny Reb, that's the South, that's again, it's holding on to that,
It is, yeah.
So I mean, the only people that aren't really bitching about it are Fighting Irish. I mean, I can imagine if we try to take.
Well, we do have Conor McGregor, so there still are Fighting Irish.
No, you better not take that down, man. We're gonna keep that Fighting Irish symbol there forever, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, and we go towards, and then people are acting out because we don't know the story behind this, because they're saying, oh, this noose was here for a while, and then they're saying, well, no, it wasn't. But I saw the picture. It's definitely a noose that was found in Bubba Wallace, a NASCAR driver, black NASCAR driver.
Right, but it was there before. They didn't know he was going to go in. But still, you go back to it, there's still an asshat out there that thought it was funny to put a noose, to make a noose where it was visible. There still was an asshat that did that.
Yeah.
Whether it was a year ago or not, there was still somebody who thought this was going to be funny. You know, and maybe it was thinking, wait, what if someday if Bubba comes into this one, he'll see it. You know, that doesn't mean it wasn't issued for him, but...
but I saw the picture, and it's like where the placement was, it just seemed a little odd, because I've been in pits at racetracks. I mean, I used to race motorcycles. That stuff doesn't stay around. Usually the pits get cleared out. So I'm
No, it was the pull rope. It was the pull rope to close the garage door.
Is that what they're saying it was?
That's what it was. It's been hanging there for a year, 8 months or whatever. But again, somebody still took the time to tie that into a noose. And I'm not thinking it's a Bernie supporter.
That's a good point.
You know, it's still not a Bernie supporter that's going to do that. You know, no. So there's still an asshats out there, you know, but you know, yeah, it's tough to think you have to worry about saying something just like it's a noose, you know, just a noose of anything, you know.
Well, and you know, let's talk about over the pond. We have Lewis Hamilton, who is a multi Formula One champion. He's got 6 Formula One championships, you know, and these are recent. They're not like old. He is a current Formula One driver. The only black Formula One driver, I don't know if it's ever, and he has been taking all sorts of stances. He's using his platform. So he's now vegan. He's been vegan for a few years. He sponsored, you know, some vegan films and things like that. And now he's using his platform for Black Lives Matter. And it's funny because Bernie Ecclestone, who is like probably the most elite, white, rich European guy, is praising Lewis for using Formula One for that platform. But at the end of the day, Bernie's saying stuff that's like, oh, well, you know, black people are just as racist or could be more racist. And it's like, dude, you're supporting the guy who's you know, giving a good message for your sport, but then you're taking it back with your mouth. Shut up. Let him be your spokesperson.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No. Yeah, hey, I am enjoying when my girlfriend Chrissy stays over. You know, not worrying about having to park where I'm parking on each side of the street, but you know, it's going to start coming back pretty soon. We're going to have to start doing the overnights and calling it in. I know that.
I don't know exactly where all these are going up, but yeah, we got parking rates are going to be going up. They're going to be putting up smart meters. Which I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind the smart meters, you know, because then you'll be able to like use an app and add time. So you won't be like, let's say you're at the courthouse and you're parked in a meter spot. You know, you'll be able to add time because you won't necessarily be able to run out. Or if you're in a doctor's appointment waiting to go in, you won't necessarily be able to run out. But that being said, it's like, yeah, the rates are going to go up. So there's a cost to everything.
Well, you know, convenience has its price. Magic has its price.
It does. Magic has its... That's a good way to put it. Magic has its price. There's always something going on behind the curtain. Yeah. And sometimes it's money. Yeah, and then Milwaukee's going to be doing the Active Streets Initiative. I don't know if you're familiar with that at all.
They're going to make the streets do burpees?
They are. They're going to do burpees, and they're going to have CrossFit. Actually, it's kind of like that. Bicycles. So this is to allow more room for bicycles.
Walking.
So pedestrians, walking, bicycles, joggers. So they're going to narrow some of the streets, Fratney and a number of others. I mean, it's one of those things, if you're interested and you live downtown Eastside Milwaukee, I suggest you look it up, the Active Streets Initiative, you know, when they're going to be enacting some of that.
They can be doing that with a lot of streets, a lot more one-ways down in this city, you know, where we have long runs. They can make one of those one way and the other one way the other, and half of it can be bike and walking. You know what I mean? It's simple. They're starting to do that in a lot of cities. So
they are, and I remember everybody complaining about the one-way streets a number of years ago, but you know, we're changing. We're changing as a society, and people they're bicycling more. We're getting away from vehicles.
That was only in Waukesha because you kept on. I remember you being in Waukesha back in the old days. You're like, look at that, honey. There's a gazebo on every corner. No, it's the same gazebo. We just keep going around and around on these one-way streets.
Okay, so have I done my Waukesha is a Bermuda Triangle of Wisconsin?
No.
Okay, so I gotta do this real quick. So my husband and I were driving somewhere, and we decided to go through Waukesha. And so he's got an excellent sense of direction and navigation. And so we're driving through Waukesha, and my husband's like, yeah, oh, we're going east. And I'm like, we're not going east. He's like, yes, we're going east. I said, no, we're not going east. We're going south. And he goes, how do you know? And I said, because the sun is over my shoulder to the right and it's going down. I swear to God, there is something in the middle of Waukesha that makes you get lost. It's stupid.
There's some artifact in there. Or
it is the
like
most
that.
fucked up Bermuda Triangle shit on the face of the planet. Oh my God.
Yeah. That's like one of those things. Waukesha. I spent a week there one day.
Yeah, you could end up dying in Waukesha if you just keep going in them circles. So, speaking of death, you got something about dead tributes.
All right, we're running a little late. So I'll hold on to this one. I guess I'm just getting a little, and then again, I'm being critical myself, but I'm critical of these things as well, But these tributes, for people after they pass. So we'll save that for next time. We'll save that for next time.
We're not going to get a MoKE rant. We got an Alexa election.
No, that's fine. Okay, listen. All right, so we got time. All right, so here's the thing. I mean, first of all, you got cemeteries, right? And in Caddyshack, Rodney Dangerfield said it the best. Biggest waste of real estate there ever has been. Really, I mean, come on. Dead people. You go on into a cemetery, you look down. There's a guy who was there, died 100 years ago. There's none of his people coming around to visit him, to say hi to him, to talk to him. There's nothing going on there. So what is this really here for? Okay, so people can go and visit, whatever. But sooner or later, that group that knows this person is gone. There's nothing there anymore. So now, instead of those people quietly going away, and you're not
Wait. But what are grandmas going to do? Because grandmas want to go see those.
Well, that's just it. There's still a few of those. But we've switched that now to Facebook. Facebook is now our new cemetery visiting area. I used to if I wanted to visit someone's grave, once a year or every 5 years, I'd get in the car, go there. Now, I get to see everything. I get to see, hey, here's the anniversary of the day he died. Here's the anniversary of his birthday. Here's the anniversary of, here's his Father's Day. Here's the anniversary of the first time we washed our car together, but now he's dead. You know what I mean? I see more of sometimes dead people than I did when they were alive.
See, and I'm not on Facebook, so I don't see this. So I've heard about this. And the other thing is when people would die, it was like, what do you do with their online accounts?
I've got one that was actually updating with the name. You know what I mean? So there was an update with my uncle's name. Was there. It wasn't like
weird.
Yeah, you're right. That's wrong. That is wrong. All right, but again, if I wanted to visit someone who was passed away, I could get in the car and I could go do it or what have you, visit them, or go over to your house if it's sitting up on the if you get the cremation and it's sitting up on the shelf. But now I can't. I'm not choosing that anymore. I'm being forced to relive this. And
that's a really good point, because some of the stuff that you see online is not something that you necessarily have. What would you say, curated for yourself. It's being curated for you, and sometimes it's not what you want to see.
Well, no, but I guess the thing is that we all talk about how you move on. Okay, how do you move on, right? Nobody can move on. You're not moving on. We're not moving on because you're constantly telling us about this death. And the loss that you have.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, and now we all can't because now I can't get over it because you're not over it yet. So I got to keep, sorry, yeah. Now, I mean, and again, I understand some people die young, but, if someone dies like when they're 18 and it's been 20 years now since they've been dead, you're kind of like, the death is outliving the life.
I've never thought of it that way. That's a really good point. I think that's a discussion that needs to be had, with, places like Facebook, because it's like Facebook and other online entities, stuff doesn't go away. There's no like, oh, I want to cancel this. I want to get rid of it. I want to delete this. Sometimes you just can't. That's That's an
And
excellent
because
point.
people like it, like these memories from a year ago, and all of a sudden, it's like I said, it's a dead relative, and here it is, or something like that. They had to do something about with boyfriends and girlfriends back in the day. I know they did that algorithm. If you make sure it's a girl, mark them as an X. They try not to put those back in your,
Yeah, see, that's just it. What if you had a really crappy year and you don't want to relive it? Even if
Yeah.
you're alive, those memory things. It's like, I don't want a memory book of my crappy year.
Well, sometimes like you do a heat or you do something like that, or how cold it was one day, or how hot. You're like, yeah, I can't wait to see this a year from now when it's not like this. Pop
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Wait until everybody gets their memory book from 2020.
Yeah.
Who checked dragons in December?
And then there's people who do those memories. It's like they rememoried a memory thing. So it was like they reposted a memory, and then the memory came up as a repost from that year. So it's 1 year memory, but you reposted it on a 3 year. Now you're reposting the 3 year, or are you reposting the 1 year when you repost it again?
It's memory inception.
Yeah, like yeah, like. And then sometimes you're looking and someone only gave him 1 like anyway. Well, listen, you only got 2 likes on this the first time. Why are you bringing it up again anyway?
That's a good point. Oh my goodness. Well, some people aren't going to have memories of anything this year because so much stuff's been canceled. So I just want to go over. Summerfest is now being completely canceled, and also the Bristol Renaissance Fair is now canceled. So. Yeah. 2021, hopefully you get here quick and there's no COVID.
All the runs are being canceled. The sausage run, they're all doing it virtually, do it at home, all that kind of things, these longer runs. But, and then we just talked about Road America. They got that open up. Camping's going to be there through the 5th. They had a race today, they're down there. Rib Fest is already scheduled down in Elkhorn for August there.
Oh, we got to have those meat eaters. Let them get their COVID and their meat together.
I know. Go poison yourselves.
I'll have ribs with a side of COVID. Thank you. No masks. I'm a mask hole. I'm a COVIDiot and a mask hole.
Lick all that meat and bring it back to your other meat-eating friends.
Oh, gross. You're grossing me out.
But there is one thing that I'm going to sign up for here that I saw. Is a Racine Zoo overnight. I want to do the tent thing. Go to bed with the animals around, and in the morning I want to hear a lion roaring in the morning when you wake up. I think. Are
they guaranteeing the lion roaring, or are they just saying?
Yeah, right. Release the roar. You gotta back up somewhere.
Oh my goodness. Oh, geez.
I think that would be a fun little thing to do is just go to a zoo overnight. So I'm looking into trying to do that. I'll keep you informed of that. But that's open. And,
that seems wholesome.
I'm not going to have 8 people in the tent. So.
Right. No, that seems pretty wholesome. So. But yeah, that's it for our adventures for the last couple of weeks. Yay. So we'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners, Dave's mom, my neighbor Pat, along with everyone else. Marianne. Chrissy, yay. Hi, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Anyone else who stumbled across us randomly, if you like what you're hearing, you tell 2 people and they'll tell 2 people, and eventually we'll become internet famous, hopefully. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, hip.or.critical. Visit our Facebook page or send me a tweet right here at Alexa MKE.
Facebook page, MoKE Milwaukee, MoKE Milwaukee.
There you go. Yeah, we got the MoKE. So, that's pretty much it. Hopefully everybody has a really good week. Have a wonderful 4th of July. Oh, yeah, all the 4th of July is canceled.
Yes. Oh, we better not freaking cancel. And I didn't look it up. Is Halloween a full moon and on a Saturday this year? We cannot have that canceled.
It may be canceled, but, hey, at least it'll be scary because there'll be a lot of dead people.
Infected. That'll be frightening.
Yeah, infected the zombies. All right. Love you, everybody. Have a great 4th. Have fun, and we'll talk to you later.